Previously on Forget-I.T. And then what you're going to do is put your PC on the 5 gigahertz and your handheld on the 2.4 gigahertz. Good morning, everybody! Previously, we discussed how you can improve your network for local game streaming, but I didn't actually tell you what I do. Why? Well, it was a combination of trying to keep the video a little shorter and keep anybody from having to spend extra money. But if you do want to go big, in today's episode, we're going to talk about what else you could do to improve your local game streaming. Stick around. Let's get into it. If you're just getting into game streaming and you didn't see my last video yet, when you finish with this one, go check that one out. It might help fill in some blanks, and I'll try to put a link around here somewhere. But for today, we're going to be talking about 2 additional ways that you could help improve your local game streaming. And that's going to be 1, Wi-Fi with 3 radios, or 2, a second access point or home router setup. So how would that 3 radio option work? Well, if you've got a fancy new home router or fancy access point with 3 radios, it might call itself a triple band or tri-band, then you're going to take all of our ideas from last time and extend that out over here. Because what it comes down to is these much more recent and usually more expensive home routers and access points might have, your classic 2.4 and 5 gigahertz radios, but also a 6 gigahertz radio. Now, not a ton of stuff uses that new 6 gigahertz radio yet, right? If your phone's a few years old or your laptop or whatever else, chances are it's probably not there. But that can be a huge advantage in some ways too, because basically that 6 gigahertz space, depending on where you're at in the world, can be pretty open, pretty available to get more devices on, basically. So what you're going to do is you're going to set up whatever wireless network that almost everything in your house is already on as whatever SSID network name you're already using, but only have the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz radios on that SSID. For your additional SSID wireless network, it's going to be 6 gigahertz only. And then, whatever name you like, maybe just have that and a 6 afterwards, right? No network here, 6. Something like that, just so it stands out for you. Now you're going to connect your gaming PC to one of those SSIDs and your handheld to the other. How do you decide which is which? Well, I'd say start with what device supports what, right? If your PC doesn't support those 6 gigahertz networks, so that would be, for instance, the Intel AX200 doesn't support 6 gigahertz, whereas the 210 does. You've got the Intel BE200, that's full Wi-Fi 7, supports the 6 gigahertz as well. Okay. So if your PC, though, doesn't support those 6 gigahertz network, that's going on the 5 gigahertz. That's pretty straightforward. And if your handheld or whatever does, and if it's pretty recent when it's more likely, cool, that goes on the 6 gigahertz. If they both support the 5 and the 6 gigahertz, then it's going to be down to range. The higher frequencies, in fact, the higher you go, right, 2.4, 5, 6 gigahertz, the higher that frequency, the less good it is at making it through walls. And so whatever's closest to that home router, give that the 6 gigahertz network. Whatever is going to be a little farther away, give that the 5 and 2.4 gigahertz network, right? So if it's your PC that's closer, cool, give it the 6 gigahertz. If the PC's got to be farther away from that home router or access point, maybe give it the 5 gigahertz and put your handheld on the 6 gigahertz and just kind of keep in mind your range. Okay, so that's our option number 1, having access to the 6 gigahertz network, this other fast, good network. But what if you don't, right? I don't at my house. I got a fancy, cool access point in the hallway, and I got a decent home router, and it just hasn't been worth replacing them to get a 6 gigahertz network for me. So I've kind of thought, well, I got both these things. My home router I was using for wired network only, and my fancy access point I was using only for Wi-Fi for the house. And it occurred to me, yeah, they're both 2.4 and 5 only, but that's still more radios I've got access to. And so here's what I did and what you might do as well, or at least something very like it. Basically, having 2 separate home routers or access points. One of them in the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz space is just the Wi-Fi for the house, right? All my things connect to it, including effectively my PC here. I'm doing a little something funky, but effectively my PC is going through the Wi-Fi. But my handheld is on a different network. My home router over there, even though it only supports 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, it is Wi-Fi 7. And so I've set up a 5 gigahertz only Wi-Fi 7 network that is just for my handhelds, just for my fast new handhelds like this, so that I'm on different channels, different radios, right? Yeah, 5 gigahertz space, but I can just make sure that that home router over there is on a different channel than my big fancy access point in the 5 gigahertz space, and then being on different SSIDs as well. Now, my home computer and my handheld can talk at the same time, thus vastly reducing the latency when they do have to talk to each other for game streaming. Okay, and that just brings us down to, yeah, but how are you gonna do it when you don't have some fancy corporate access point that you bought yourself off of eBay? Because, man, don't waste your money like that. It's fine, don't worry about it. You're gonna have whatever home router plugged in, acting as your router, your firewall between you and the internet, and acting as your Wi-Fi for the house. Cool, leave that one just the way it is. And then if you happen to have an old one around, it'd be great, right, if we're talking about like go as big as you can, to get like a second really great one that supports the latest Wi-Fi standards. But even if not, if you got something older around that's reasonably fast, chances are you can put it into a mode to extend the Wi-Fi, and that's probably your shortest option. The quickest option, there might be like a mesh mode or something like that. If not, that's okay. What you can do is go into the settings, turn off the firewall, turn off the DHCP server in there, give it a static IP address on its inside that is going to be in the same network as everything else in your house. Just make sure it's something that you're not using, right? So maybe it's 192.168.1.25 or something like that. I tend on my home network to start my Wi-Fi at .100 so that I got those first 99 addresses available for wired devices. Okay, so some static IP address on this when you're adding in, turn off the firewall, turn off the DHCP server, and then plug it in with a wire to your existing home router, but not on the WAN port. Instead, on one of those LAN ports. Why? Because that's a 4-port switch with a port connected up to the Wi-Fi as well. Yeah. So this just an access point then. It's just Wi-Fi plugged into your wired network. I said, no firewall, no DHCP, don't plug into the WAN port. Plug it into one of those 4, and have the network set up on here with that other SSID, other network name. Go into the settings, make sure it's on a different channel, a Wi-Fi channel, than your home network that you're using as well. And this is going to be the one that you're going to connect to for your handheld. Only other thing I'd say in there is go ahead and set yourself up for success by making it the fastest network possible. If you are going big and the one you're adding in supports Wi-Fi 7, cool, you're good, right? If it is a little bit of an older one, then maybe you make it a 5 gigahertz only network and just understand it's going to be not a giant area you're covering, but plenty big for a normal size house or any apartment. And just don't connect anything else to it, and there's not going to be competition on that. All right, everybody, quick little recap. You don't have to do any of this. And man, I'm not trying to push any of y'all to spend extra money. But if you've already tried everything from the last video and you're still having problems with your local game streaming, these might be some more options. An access point with that 6 gigahertz radio as well, and connect your gaming handheld just to that 6 gigahertz maybe, and have your PC on the 5 gigahertz network instead, right? Different radios. or use different radios by adding in some other home router or access point, putting it on different channels, different SSID as well, so that you can control who's connecting where. And these should be your go big options to make your local game streaming better. All right, everybody, this continues to be a blast. Thanks for hanging out. I love it when y'all talk to me in the chat. So, hey, if y'all got some ideas for me, or if you just want to say hi, man, it puts a smile on my face when you do. So I appreciate you. Hit that like if you like it. Subscribe if you're looking for more. We'll see you next time. Uh-oh, I got smart guy glasses and I'm from Texas. I think that means I gotta run for governor now?